This is the start of a new series of videos on installing and using AI large language models locally. Today we are going to install the OpenAI gpt-oss large language model using Ollama on a Windows computer. Once on the Ollama website, you can download the application for your choice of operating system. Before we download, we will have a look at the hardware we're going to use for today's video. Over on our custom PC hardware channel, links in the description below, we recently built a new Minisforum computer with 64GB of main memory, and an RX 9060 XT graphics card with 16GB of memory. This is a computer we're going to install the large language models on today. Having selected the operating system, the Ollama application will be downloaded. Installing is very straightforward. There is, however, no option currently to specify the installation location of the application. So in Windows, it'll install to your C drive. We'll speed through to the end of the installation. Now that it is installed, we can run the Ollama application, which presents with a very simple dialog, allowing you to select from a selection of large language models and an input box for you to prompt the system. So initially we will select the gpt-oss 20 billion parameter model and ask it a simple question. As we have not downloaded any models yet, Ollama's first task is to download what you have selected. As this is almost 13GB in size, we'll speed through to the end of the download. Once the download has completed, the local large language model will start to process your query. During this processing, you will get a glimpse into the thinking of the model. Don't expect local large language models to operate as fast as those online, as your own hardware will have a lot less memory and processing power than the larger commercial systems. If we fast forward to the result of the query, we can see that what is returned, in this case, is not correct. As we all know, Bob Zale was the founder of PowerBASIC. So let's attempt to correct the system. This is one of the smaller large language models, and this does limit the knowledge held within it. And so far, based on its own internal data, it's sticking to its answer. So to confirm we are correct, a quick Google query, which is in itself using a large language model, it confirms that Bob Zale was indeed the founder of PowerBASIC. So let's see if our local model is any better at generating PowerBASIC code. We'll give it the query prompt we have used recently to create a function that will take a date string input and return a date, being the next Monday after 30 days have elapsed. After 100 seconds worth of thinking, the model starts to output its result. While the code that comes out of the system isn't usable without a lot of additional effort from a human programmer who is skilled in PowerBASIC, it does provide a good layout and support information on the code generated. PowerBASIC is a niche product, and running prompts for JavaScript, PowerShell, or Python code could possibly produce more usable code. We may look at those in a later video. I'm using PowerBASIC here for two reasons. Firstly, this is a PowerBASIC YouTube channel. And secondly, being a niche product, it's a good test of the scope of the LLM. In some of my videos, I make use of a variety of AI image and video generation systems to provide the graphics. For these, you also need to provide text prompts to start them off. So can we use this local model to help generate a prompt for the Hailuo image and video generator? And here we are, some 27 seconds later, with the prompt generated. We can now paste this text into Hailuo and see what comes out. So here is the short video produced. So score 1 for the local model, as it's provided a good prompt for our video. So far, we have been using the 20 billion parameter model from OpenAI, gpt-oss. There is also a 120 billion parameter version of this model. Perhaps we could try loading this one. We can download this model and load it up by simply picking it from the drop-down list. As this is some 60 gigabytes in size, we'll speed through to the end of the download. So we've asked the same question again: who created PowerBASIC? As this is a larger model, you can expect it to take longer for the thinking stage. So while it gets on with the thinking, let's have a look at just how much of this computer this model and Ollama are actually using. I'm using an application called Process Lasso to monitor the CPU and memory usage on this machine. The computer does have 64 gigabytes of memory, and the application and model are using nearly all of it, as well as maxing out the CPU usage of all 32 processing cores. And the result we get back with this larger model is basically the same as previously. So while the larger model holds more data, it appears to hold nothing extra on this niche product. Meanwhile, the processors are cooling off and just showing normal activity. The memory usage hasn't changed, as the larger model is still held in memory until the application either exits or a different model is selected. So far, we have used the basic settings for the application. The setting menu does afford some options you can amend. All I'm going to change in here is context length, which determines how much of the conversation a local LLM will remember. It also defines where the local models are stored. So can we use this large model to do some research for an upcoming video? One of our viewers recently mentioned the theory of neuronal group selection as it pertains to the formation of consciousness. So let's see just what information it can gather. Well, after less than 40 seconds, it has started to output information on the subject. From what I can tell, what it has generated is generally in line with the standard Google and other reference searches I have conducted. So, in conclusion, the Ollama application does provide an easy way to install a range of large language models on your local computer, assuming that it has a lot of local memory and graphics card memory. It doesn't yet have a lot of options to adjust, but this is a bonus for those just starting out with locally based models. In later videos, we will look at other applications that provide this and other extended functionality. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to click on the link in the description below to discover more videos.